He has some real
What's up, guys? This
bad
is Jay
skeletons
from
in his
COI.
past that need to be
So today I want
examined.
to talk about the protest.
And furthermore,
in
they did
Michigan,
all of this
the Gridlock
and covered it
protest.
up until
So I want to
this
start
week.
this off
And you know
first
why?
by saying my
Because
personal
last
opinion
week,
on
Bernie Sanders dropped
the
out.
protest itself. If you're not familiar with
Every
the
other
protest,
off-ramp
it is
we
aimed
had
at Governor Whitmore, who
is gone now.
we are
That's
on
the
probably
path
the
straight
strictest
to Johio.
stay-at-home orders in the
There's
country.
no other options.
And
And
these
you would
people
think,
were
by the
upset
way,
with it,
if
so they all
legacy
got together
media
and
and
decided
mainstream
they were going to
media
drive their
is as
vehicles
left as they
down
say
in front
they
of the
are,
state capitol and just park.
wouldn't they want the left
Honked their
to actually
horns.
win?
Some people, a lot of people, got out.
It makes no
waved
sense,
flags,
honestly.
did
Like,
all the things to prove that.
I know what you're thinking. Like, well,
Now I want
maybe
to start
they
my,
think that
my
they can just
personal
change the
opinions of the whole
narrative
thing,
so
and
much.
I think
There's some
that
validity
he'll
to what
win.
these
people are complaining
This
about.
makes sense.
I think that
They
some of
knew
her
the polls
restrictions
going into this.
go
They knew about Tara
beyond
Reid.
what is reasonable.
They knew they couldn't keep it
I
hidden.
mean this in the fact that
Not in
I
today's
do
age.
100% believe
Are they
COVID
really on the
is
left?
as serious
Because
as a
don't
heart
you think
attack,
they
and
would
it's
say, hey,
something
there's
we
an
have to be
iceberg
very
right in front of
precautious
us.
about.
There's an off-ramp
But
called Bernie Sanders. Fuck
she
it,
has
let's not
proposed
say
a
a
bill
thing
that
and
would
head
allow
straight
people
into
like
the iceberg.
landscapers
Don't tell the
and
people they can
workers
get off on that
who
off-ramp.
typically work outside and
I don't know. Look,
small
I'm not trying to be
businesses as well to
conspiratory or
implement,
anything like that.
much like
But
an
it just
internet
seems really interesting.
business would, where
It's
no one's
almost
allowed in
like
the store and
they
want to
wanna
push
push
against
she was
Donald
Donald
Trump
Trump and
say,
say, he's vile
she
and horrible
denied
and
it.
we hate him.
And I think that goes too far.
But they want him to
because
win, so they
being
still
a small
get their
business
tax
owner
breaks.
myself, knowing
And so
many
the
of them,
elites are
we
still
will
in charge.
find a way. And I'm a
I don't
small
know.
business owner who
Almost like
doesn't like people.
The biggest threat
really.
to either
I'm
the Democrats
just
or
not
the
a fan of
Republicans
being out in public,
is
and
a
I've been
populist,
able to do it.
a man of the people.
And I'm sure these people
It's
could
like they
too.
don't want
When your
somebody
livelihood's on the
who
line,
represents actual
you'll find
Americans.
a way.
I mean, surely
it's
that's
a
not
few
true,
extra
right? I mean,
steps.
we all
It's
go
a
by
few
our
things
party.
you probably
correct?
don't want to do.
There's no
But you can do it.
consolidated
and
power at the top.
And
who says,
I actually
"Fuck
think
you"
Governor
to the average
Whitmer's
American
approach to this
in
is actually
exchange
hurting
for
Michigan
power and tax
pretty,
cuts.
pretty badly,
Right.
actually. And not
I mean,
the
look, we're supposed to be
the
woke.
economical damage.
We're
which,
worried about
yeah, it's
women
gonna be
and
bad.
racism and
But
whatever
also,
else you got. Throw it on there, and
the
we'll
fact that
complain about it.
we have
Until it
researchers,
comes time to vote.
doctors, scientists,
And we're always going to
who are
vote
telling
for the guy
us
who's going to go
this
along
is
with
going to
the
last
percent
well into
elitists.
2021.
Anyway,
And that's
guys,
if we get
I
a
appreciate you.
timely vaccine.
You have a great evening.
Which,
Look, precedent says that we're not going to. There's never been a vaccine developed that quickly. So know that going into this. And yeah, we're going to have to get back to normalcy of some form. This and her,
So,
I got great
complete
news,
shutdown.
guys. So for all of you
guidelines
who are
and
progressive,
restrictions, or whatever
we
you want to
thought
call
we
it,
were going into
it's
this
not
election
normalcy.
voting
It's
for
not normalcy at all. You
a
can't
Republican by the name of Donald Trump
continue to
or
make
a Republican by the name of Joe
your
Biden.
state run.
But lo
without
and behold,
any business being
Here
open.
comes cool Uncle
You
Joe,
have to figure it
and
out.
guys,
and
he switched to
to
progressive.
simply
I'm
deny
telling you,
people from going
he has
out at
these new
all.
policies out which are
And namely businesses
amazing,
being open,
super
you're
left,
harming your,
super
your state, because there's gonna be a
socialist,
point in
and
time when you're
great
gonna
for
have
the
to.
country. You wouldn't.
And these people
believe
haven't
it.
been acclimated into
the things
this new
he's doing
life.
with Medicare.
There's gonna be some growing pains, but you got to get through
Guys,
some of that.
He's dropping the age. That's
Um,
right.
And
he is
namely,
dropping
honestly,
the
the
age
growing
from
pains should be
65
people
To get this, now hold your
being
breath.
chewed out for doing the wrong things.
60
hey,
years
we're open
old.
again.
I
No,
mean,
don't go down to the
holy
park,
shit.
stupid. Don't go out
Have
and
you seen
be in
anything
people's
better?
bubble. No,
And-
we
yeah,
should
okay,
only
so
have
Amy
X amount
Klobuchar
of people
wanted
in,
to do
in
50
the
and
local Walmart.
2016,
big box stores.
Clinton said 55.
Small
but-
businesses who let people
we
in.
won't talk about
Yeah,
that.
they should be.
Yes,
they
Joe
should
may be going
fined.
to the right of
Maybe
them, but
even
look,
suspended.
they're
for
fucking
a week or
socialists.
two.
We're not going that far, right?
All of that does need to happen.
No, I mean,
But we
yeah,
have to find a
we
way
can't get rid of
that
the
we're going to
profit motive of the
continue
healthcare industry. That would
doing
ruin this
business
country.
in this situation.
But,
Things have to change.
By
Joe
completely
Biden
denying
also
it,
said,
you're not helping
just
anything.
to really hand
On
out
the other
that olive
side,
branch to the
I
progressives.
looked into a lot of these people.
He'll do his best.
Because it didn't seem
not to
like there was a
sexually harass
lot
woman while
of
in office.
concern. I mean, what more
I
can
don't
we
see
ask
a
for,
lot of
guys? Really?
signs
I mean,
that
that's
say,
the
"I'm
guy.
starving."
I mean, obviously,
We don't have.
we need to
food
ride
in
that
the cupboard.
no
We're not
malarkey
making
train
any money.
all the way to D.C., baby.
In fact, almost
That's
all the
way to
signs I
go.
see are Trump.
You can't
NRA,
tell. I'm being
MAGA.
sarcastic.
No,
Confederate
look, flags for some odd reason.
That
I have
whole
no idea
Medicare
why
thing
Confederate
is completely
flags.
repugnant. I have no idea why
most articles right
and
now.
then I
are
heard some of the
leading
people who
with
were
that,
interviewed
because it's
and their
completely
biggest
stupid.
complaint is, well,
Um,
I'm on
what's more
unemployment for the
important,
first
though,
time and I don't want to be on unemployment.
Joe
not
Biden has
starving. talked about And
Stay
he
the fuck
said
at home.
moving forward, one of
Be
his
bored?
policies is going to be to
I
completely
started
clear
looking into
student debt
namely the organizers
and
behind
also free
Operation Gridlock.
education.
Lo and behold, most of
That's
them
that's
they
fucking
believe this is all a hoax. This is a scam.
enticing.
This
I'm
is a
not
way
gonna
for the
lie.
government
That makes
to
me stop
implement
and go, "Huh."
authoritarianism.
Okay, so I did want to make a,
Okay.
I was gonna go Jill Stein,
All right,
or maybe
let's
just
examine
sit out
that, I
the whole
guess.
presidency
Let's talk
and
about
vote everything in every other election.
First
but
off, if you ran a government, I want you to ask
he's gonna do
yourself this.
free
If you ran a government,
education.
what's the
That's
and
a
you were
move,
planning
man.
to implement?
I mean, that's a win.
an
We have to
Orwellian
acknowledge
utopia
that.
for
Is
you
it
and your elites.
the win we want?
What's the one
No.
thing you wouldn't want your
And
people to have?
I am in no
an
way telling
abundance of?
you that you should jump on the Joe
And I know
Biden
what you're thinking.
bandwagon.
No,
because
it's not guns. It's food.
I'm not right
You wouldn't
now.
want them to have food.
Look, I mean, for me,
He's going to have to do a little
but
bit more.
our government is actually
there has to
instructed
be that we
I don't know.
continue
There has to be a little
stock
bit
up on
you
non-perishables.
know, for one, he's going to
Rice,
have to
beans,
address the stimulus package.
water.
He's going to have to address the
Things
oversight.
that
He's
it's
going to
make
have
our
to say
pantry
what
stretch,
he's going to have to
because there's going to be
acknowledge
times we go to the
relative
store we're not going to be able
inequality
to find
in this
everything we want.
country, and that he's going to
So
do
they
something.
say when you
There's
can buy things
certain
like
things
flour,
in there. I'm not
sugar,
asking. Look,
buy them.
if he doesn't push Medicare
Buy
for all,
bigger,
fine. I get it.
bags.
It's not
of
something
it,
I'm
so that
totally happy with.
maybe you can't have steak
Understand,
tonight,
but
you can have
there's
rice and
levels
beans.
at which I
So you have
would
food.
end up voting for Joe.
Well, it didn't seem like an
And
authoritarian
that one
government would say
that
to
one's
you.
interesting.
They'd want you to be running
and
almost empty.
look, if you want to argue, well, look, he says he's going to do
It's-
it, but will he?
if
He
if
probably
this
won't.
was the authoritarianism
You're
that
probably
you
right.
believe in, that
And
it
he
is,
probably won't.
only the
but
preppers
the
would have
idea
food, and I'll
that he's
be
putting
eating
it out there, it's a
MREs.
platform he's running
That's
on,
not
and
what's
we
happening.
can call him out for not doing it.
Everybody has food. in
It's
their
just
jokes.
interesting. That's all I'm saying.
And
I
hell,
think it's
if you don't know
interesting
where to
that
go,
number one, he's going left.
there's a lot of
after winning
there's
the
actually a new
nomination.
government site
Usually, this
that
is
you
when
can
he
find
would go
out where
right, and I'm
um,
sure you've heard that a
the
million
flour
times.
mills and places
if
like
you've
that
heard
are
about
actually
this story.
selling food
But it's
straight from the mill itself.
yeah, it's making it honestly.
It
It's
does
making
not
me
seem
think, like,
something like an authoritarian.
Is this
government
as
would do.
far as he's going?
Let's
I've
go on to
heard
the other one,
certain
guns. That's the
staffers
big
of
one,
his
right?
say, no, he's going to go a little bit
Yeah,
more
because
left before
with
this
all
is all over.
the gun shops, they were forced to shut
if
down.
he
weren't
does,
they? Banned all online sales of
I
guns
don't
and
know.
ammo. Walmart,
It's been
Cabela's,
such
none
a
of them sell
confusing
guns and ammo anymore,
couple
right?
of weeks politically.
Oh no, wait, they do.
I
They
talked
still
about the
do.
AOC story.
I just bought
everyone bashing on
box
her.
of-
Well,
of
turns
9
out
mil
she did not vote for the stimulus bill.
yesterday.
I
from the
personally
local Walmart. I
stayed
had no
back and
problem
was
with that,
like,
by the
look,
way.
she's
bought a
young.
box of that, box of
She's
22s,
probably
a box of
looking which
32s.
direction to
Don't ask
go.
me about the 32s. It's my wife's.
I'm gonna still stick with her.
I
I'm
had
not
no
gonna
problem
just,
buying
you
it.
know,
None at all.
turn the pitchforks on her.
And in fact,
And now Joe Biden with this.
they are
like,
loosening up some of the
this
gun
is more than I
regulations
thought he
on
would do,
ammo.
honestly.
In fact,
So
why?
it is
Because our
it's an
government has
interesting-
said a lot of
interesting
people are going to
thought.
want to think about hunting.
Also, I wanted to talk
way
about
to get more meat.
Wisconsin. So, for all of you who risked your
That
lives, to vote
definitely
in
doesn't seem
Wisconsin,
like something
that was probably for
authoritarian government
naught.
would do.
I mean that.
Let's talk
because
about
it
the other
is
one,
Arguably
one.
going to go down
because we do have an
as
authoritarian
the
government to look
worst
at in this
primary
world, and
state
they
election ever
reside
held in American
far east
history.
in China,
Um,
where
over
some of
at
you may
this
not be
moment,
aware of this, but it
they
is
said about
damn
over
near
200,000 ballots
to wear a face
will
covering
be probably just thrown away
in a
because
lot
due
of
to
metro
the
areas
post
in
offices,
China.
not
Why?
being
Because facial
manned
recognition
like they normally
technology.
are. There's
They are
the
not
postmark
able
date is
to
not put
figure
on a
out
lot
who
of
you
those
are
ballots.
if your face is
So
covered up.
due to a Supreme
And in
Court
fact, they go
decision
so far as have a
from
lot of
years
doors
ago, it makes
and,
those ballots
ATMs,
invalid.
things
and
like
so
that.
throw 'em away,
Also, read your fingerprints.
which is just yeah.
They
I
don't
mean,
want you
and,
to
and
have
that's
clothes
you know you can you
As
can
we're
take
here
that
in
however you
America,
want. That's maybe
There's
why
some
some of the
states
Joe Biden
that
switching
are
progressive
just
thing
working on
is
implementing
still in
laws
me.
now that
Like,
say if you don't look
I
like a
don't know.
goddamn ninja when you
I
leave
don't
your
know if I
house,
trust
you
it.
could be fined.
This whole shit's rigged.
They
But
don't want you very
a sad
distinguishable.
situation in Wisconsin, though.
Also, not something
And you
authoritarian.
know,
government
as far
would
as
do.
the whole thing with
See,
them
none of these are ticking
not
the
being
box,
post
guys.
dated,
I know.
and
Maybe in between the
show
Wisconsin
that
sells
Supreme
you
Court
colloidal
saying, look,
silver,
well,
Alex
precedent
Jones
shows
is saying, no, this is a big
that,
scam, a big
that they're
hoax.
invalid now.
But common sense
Okay, can
says
we
no.
please stop
to
with
mention
the
that,
precedent on everything?
What's the plan?
Because the last time
You're gonna have
the Supreme
some
Court
giant
voted
big
on that,
plan, and you expect
was
the
there a
hero and
pandemic
savior
going
Donald
around?
Trump not to know
did we
about it?
really need to shut down the fucking country so people wouldn't die?
He would
Was
be
that
the
happening?
dictator,
It's probably
by the
not.
way.
So precedent isn't a
But that's your
one-to-one
guy,
ratio
right?
here.
He would be the one
And
implementing
And I
this,
think we got to be smart
he's in
with a
charge of
lot
our
of things
military.
like
He
that.
would have that
And
power.
we tend to
That
rely
doesn't make sense
on
either. Oh,
these
they're
old
doing this to get Trump out.
decisions and bills and
Well,
books
let me
and
ask you, if you really
scrolls
believe
and
it's a hoax, then why
every
are you
other
worried?
goddamn thing we
Why
do
are you worried it's
comes
going to
from
affect
some
Trump
sort
at
of
all?
tradition
Let's talk about the
or something
last
that was
hoax
said a
that we
long
had in
time
this
ago.
country.
But we never compare the situations,
Russiagate.
which would make
Half the country said it was a
120%
hoax, the other half said it wasn't.
sense in a situation
We
where
know.
yeah, probably
It
wasn't
was
a pandemic
complete hoax.
then. Guessing not.
You know how we
Here
know
there
that?
was.
It doesn't affect
Certain people
Trump
weren't
at
able to
all.
work.
And in
That's why this
fact,
happened.
if you're
We
a
all
left
know
winger
their
and you
intent.
bring up Russia
We all
too
know what was
much,
happening.
people just start
And
scoffing
look, whether
at
you want to believe it or
It's
not,
a hoax.
there's going to be a group of people who's going to say,
This is a hoax.
I
How's it
bet
gonna
you
affect
most
him?
of those were Bernie
We're not
Sanders
gonna have any
supporters.
evidence.
And I would be one of those, and I'll tell you why.
But that's where the
because in
problem starts to
Wisconsin,
come up.
Bernie Sanders
Not only is
told
common
his people,
sense tell
"Don't
us
go out
this
and
is a
vote."
real thing, and it's
He
not
encouraged them to vote by mail.
authoritarian
That would have been most of them.
planned by our government because they're
Is
allowing
that
us
crazy
food,
to believe that?
guns,
No.
and letting
We
us
have
cover our faces and
our
fingers.
logic spelled out right there, but that's what's
No,
happening.
in fact,
Anyway,
we do have facts. We have
to
numbers.
just finish off this
Flu
wonderful
season
show,
started about 6 months
give you
ago
more good news about our
in
country.
October, and it ended
As of right
about
now,
a week or two ago.
in
It's
the
debatable
United
on
States,
the
due
exact
to the novel
Killed
coronavirus
22,000,
or
23,000 people.
SARS-CoV-19,
And last week,
we have
as of last week, the numbers showed
22,079 deaths.
that it killed more
We
people
had
than COVID.
1,471
COVID's only been around
today,
for about
which
a month and a half, 2 months.
we're down by
Keep
like
that in mind.
400, which is pretty good.
Well,
And
first
over
month didn't really do too
500,000
much.
cases.
People are still
Which
getting sick
again,
with it,
on the
right? So it wasn't
cases,
producing
we're
the
also down.
numbers
So
that you might have
we
wanted
might
to see.
actually,
But those numbers are
we might be
starting to
doing better.
multiply.
Flattening
get
the curve,
crazy.
so to speak.
And in fact,
maybe seeing some
last
light at
week,
the end of the tunnel.
the flu still had
Maybe
more lives.
May isn't
That
as
was last
crazy
week.
as it seems to get
COVID
out of
has
some
killed
of this.
10,000
It's hard
more
to
people
say.
than
The
that
important
number.
thing is
We're up at
the social
33,000
social
right now,
distancing
roughly.
is what got us here, and so we need to keep that up.
By the way,
Anyway, guys,
COVID still
stay
has 4
safe.
more months to keep going, and it keeps
Take care
getting
of
worse.
yourself.
Yesterday
And
we
if you get a
had
chance,
the
play
biggest
Final
death
Fantasy
rate
VII
or
if
death
you
toll
are
we've
a
had
video
in
game
this
fan.
country
It's a
of
fantastic game.
47.
Anyway, take care.
800 or 4,708, I believe. Almost 4,800 people. There's your facts. I know
So,
it's easy. It's
AOC
fun to say
has
this
come
is
under
true.
a lot of fire lately.
It gives you some sort of
especially
comfort
from
to
the
believe that you
progressive
have some
side
sort of
things.
control and it's not a real thing. I get all that. And
got
if that's how
very
you deal
passionate
with it, fine.
about how the stimulus bill is
spend that
screwing
time,
over the average
spend that
American,
energy
and how
in your basement.
it is
Because
cementing the wealth inequality
the one
in
thing
this
about
country,
Operation Gridlock
and
is
how this bill
you got the
might
national
be a point of
attention
no
on you.
return.
You've got
She
you're
warned of
standing
how
on
dangerous
the
it was.
stage of America,
And then
and
she
you
voted
had
for
one
it.
message that you could have given.
And
You
the
could have
uproar
put a
from
small
the
business owner
progressive
up
side
on
of
that
things
stage.
was
You could have put an
incredibly
economist on
loud,
that
and it has
stage,
been
and
incredibly
they could have
loud.
started ringing out
People
truths
like
to
Jimmy
Governor
Dore
Whitmer.
and Rising.
Maybe
and
somebody would have
Young
listened and said, "Hey, you know what?
Turks and
They're kind of
about
right.
every progressive
Maybe
on
we
Twitter
should
and
loosen up some of
Instagram
these
have been
restrictions.
talking
Maybe
about
we
how
should get back to
AOC
work."
is more
But here's what
centrist
you
than
did.
we thought, and
You
AOC
yelled,
is
"Get your
more
hands
with
off my
Nancy
guns,
Pelosi and
MAGA,
that
MAGA,
agenda.
Trump, Trump." That's what
well,
you did.
it turns out
And now everybody who
AOC
saw that believes
actually
it's just some
didn't vote for it.
hyper-partisan Trump rally that led to
all
nothing.
reporting that we've had shows that
Good job,
no,
guys.
she didn't vote for
You got
the bill.
everything you wanted.
And she didn't talk about it, and that's one
To
thing
just
Jimmy Dore
more
had
people
brought
to
up.
think that you're lunatics.
Jimmy Dore, who I think
That's
is one of
essentially
the
it.
main
That might
people
hurt, but
handing
it's
out
true. It's
pitchforks
how the
against
regular
AOC,
people see you.
had talked about it, and
You
his
had a
comments
chance.
were
You were
this:
standing in front
no,
of that microphone.
she voted for the bill. I know
and
she
you,
did,
Joe Biden,
and I
the
will continue
fuck
to
out of
believe
that
that until she
situation.
comes on my show and says she didn't.
But anyway,
she
guys,
won't because she's
I'm
full
curious
of shit.
your thoughts about the
That
whole
is
thing.
directly from Jimmy Dore.
I know if you're
Jimmy
on
Dore,
the left or the
please,
right,
man.
you probably both hate me.
You are media.
But I really am.
Like
I'm
it or
really
not,
curious
you're
about,
media,
your thoughts about
and
this whole thing. Anyway,
that
you guys stay
bullshit
safe. Be careful out there.
Of gut feeling